Hi everyone, I'm Alexandra Dacey, and for my Teach 1 assignment, I'm going to talk about assessing information needs. So, step 1 is to identify a decision maker. I chose an aspiring counselor named Teresa Smith. Age 26, she graduated from George Mason University with a bachelor's degree in psychology. She works at a veterinary hospital in Ashburn, Virginia currently, and she commutes to work from her mother's home in Washington, D.C. For step number 2, we want to identify at least 3 upcoming decisions that the person faces roughly 6 months from now. So within the next 6 months or so, Teresa would like to make a final decision on the following: whether or not to go to graduate school and further her education to become a counselor like she wants to be, whether or not to continue working at the veterinary hospital, or if she should look into a job that has more to do with becoming a counselor, and whether or not to rent an apartment so that she can live closer to either school or her current job and no longer have to commute. For number 3, we want to identify at least 4 pieces of information that will make a difference in the decision. So in Teresa's case, we want to consider a few factors such as location, schedule, expenses, and career goals. Location would be important for her to rent an apartment if she were to do so, because she would be closer to either graduate school or her current job at the veterinary hospital, because commute is a big issue for her so far. Then schedule would be important so that she could either work around her school schedule to continue working at the veterinary hospital. Expenses would be important as well, because renting an apartment would definitely cost money for the rent, and then the graduate school for tuition, and the veterinary hospital is helping her pay off a lot of these expenses anyway, so that's another thing to consider. And then career goals are important here, because if she wants to become a counselor, then graduate school would be a very big choice for her to make and a very important one. Next, we want to rate the relative importance of the information items from the previous slide on a scale from 0 to 7. We're including 0 because that accounts for the information that is not entirely necessary to make the decision. The results are then calculated based on average, range, and median. So as we can see on the chart, the median is at the bottom. So we're taking the median off the average column and from the range column. And that will help us determine what level of importance that each of these decisions have based on the chart that was in this assignment, which included the high average rating of importance, the low average rating of importance, small range of ratings across issues, and wide range of ratings across issues. And that helps us to find the essential information, what needs to be collected now, what is a low priority item, what is considered rapid data collection set, and what is considered a periodic data set that is only collected when needed. The results showed that the location and expenses are essential information that should be collected now because they have a high average rating of importance, since the average was greater than the median, and then a small range of ratings across issues, since the range was less than or equal to the median. None fell under low priority items, and none fell under rapid data collection set. So for the low average rating of importance, we would have needed an average less than a median, and for it to also fall again under small range of ratings across issues, the range would have had to be less than or equal to the median. So none had that. Then for the wide range of ratings across issues, you needed to have a range that was greater than or equal to the median. But then for the high average rating of importance, it should have been that the average was greater than the median. So none fell under that. Then finally, we had the periodic data set, which was information that should be collected when needed, and the schedule and career goals fell under that category. So there was a low average rating of importance, meaning that the average was less than the median, and then a wide range of ratings across issues, which was that the range was greater than or equal to the median. So according to the results, Teresa should focus on location and expenses in order to make her decisions, since they are the most essential factors. Her schedule should only be collected or considered when needed, since it falls under the periodic data set. The same goes for her career goals, which can be determined when she is either ready to apply for graduate school or to continue working at the veterinary hospital. The final step for this assignment was to include an introspection. So I talked about what went well and what needed improvement in the method of need assessment. So I wrote that the method for assessing information needs is helpful, but I do not entirely agree with how the results are determined. Although it is important for Teresa Smith to consider the expense and location factors in order to make her decisions as to whether or not to attend graduate school, continue working at the veterinary hospital, and rent an apartment, decision making in general, and especially for major life changes, requires a lot of outweighing of pros and cons and doing what will benefit one in the long term. If Teresa has always dreamed of becoming a counselor, then career goals would be considered a more immediate priority for her. I really enjoyed this assignment, and I thank you everyone for listening. Good luck.